That start wop baba loo bop wop bam boom, as the kids say in the 1950s. I'm Pugs Moran. Welcome to the High Noon Report, a 2-hour demonstration of one man's narcissism and need to be heard. That's right. For 2 hours, I'm going to tell you everything that's happening in the world. We're going to run down all the hot topics, all the current events, the headlines. If something breaks, I'm all over it. And you are a big part of it. So please come in the chat room. Everybody, wait, let me get the chat room up. Do we have the chat room up? Is it working? It's working. We got Byron. We got Taronda. We got April. We got Byron again. More people coming into the chat room. Come on. As we like to say around here, grab your futons, your bean bags, your yoga mats. Form the soul circle of life. Join hands and create some positive energy out of this chat room, because Lord knows the world needs it. Welcome. Come on. Come on. Hi, Sally. It's Mama Beller. Mama Beller's here. Okay. So here's the thing. Good. We're going to have like a normal show today, which is nice. I hope. Right now, I've prepared a full show. We're going to run through it. Some changes, though, I'm thinking about doing. Yes, we do give you all the day's news, the headlines, the current events, all the stuff. Non-divisive. That's the point of this show, man. Like, so I can't get a job doing talk radio. I can't, because apparently, they're only taking people who are, doing a certain kind of talk radio. And that's not my thing. So I do this. So we do this. We do this every day. It is a different kind of talk radio. It's the kind of neighborly, over-the-fence talk radio, end of the driveway when you come home from work. Hey, Bob, what's new? Hey, did you hear about, whatever. It's not, who'd you vote for, right? We don't do that. So please join with us, and that's what the next couple hours are going to be. Now, I'm going to try and do it without breaks, without music, without songs, without nothing. I'm just going to start talking, and throughout the course of the next couple hours, hopefully, it will be all up to speed on what's happening. Some changes, though, like I'm thinking, normally, we don't just do that. We also do a look back on history, a segment we call Erstwhile on This Day, where we take a look back at all the things that occurred on history in this day. We're looking for patterns. We're looking for rhythms. We're looking for some things that might help us, give us that edge, that gambler's edge on what to expect in the coming hours. Is this a day when planes seem to crash all the time? Maybe not get on a plane. Is this a day when hurricanes seem to happen? Because it is. It is throughout history. A lot of hurricanes on this day is all I'm saying. All right. So we do Erstwhile, then we do birthdays. We talk about people and they're born today and what did they do and do we care, I guess, is the whole point of that. And then we go into the deaths. Heaven or hell. Oh, it's a game we play every day. Now, here's when I say I'm thinking about making some changes. Got to tighten this segment up. For the last 2 years that we've been doing this stream every day, that segment's been a good hour, and I'm looking at it and I'm going, that's its own show. It doesn't need to be a segment. Maybe I'm going to break them up. Because see, those segments aren't time sensitive. Like the daily, here's the history, here's the birthday, and me ranting about all these peoples and things. That's I can record those ahead of time. Like those don't have to be the day of the way these streams do. So changes coming to the show. We're trying to think of a whole bunch of new ways to get it done. Now, as you know, the show's been a struggle for the last 2 years. The show relies on your tips. I'd like to thank the people who stepped up yesterday and helped the show. We're still about $300 short of where we need to be for this month. Actually, about $350 short. But thank you so much. Executive producing today's show. You've heard of the Safdie brothers. You've heard of the Coen brothers. They're not brothers, but it's Hugh and Joel. Thank you so much for your support. Also, I do want to thank some other people who stepped up yesterday and dropped a little something there in the tip jar. Did we get Frank? Do we get Frank? Did Frank do it? Frank's always doing. Frank is like a rig. Frank's great. Terry, Frank and Terry, thank you so much. And then, going back earlier in the week, Peter, thank you so much. Christina, thank you so much. You're so consistent. Jeff, you're so consistent. I really do appreciate you guys. You're how this show gets done. Tips and support for this kind of talk radio. All right, that's it. If you want to get back into it, let's get back into it. Let's start talking. Let's start the show. Why not, right? All right. Feeling a little bit amped up today. Couldn't be the cocaine you did. See, that's my co-host. Those of you who have been with us. I rely on a co-host, and I don't have one except for schizophrenic me. That's the voice in my head who my entire life, every time I'm like, this is such a good idea, I should really work hard to achieve this goal. He's the voice that goes, why? You're not going to get it. You're a loser. That's my friend. And he rides shotgun with me on this. From time to time, you'll hear him off mic scream out something that is in direct opposition to something that I've just said. That's how he gets involved. All right, let's get started. Oh, and just as I say that, Google signs me out. Google Drive would like to verify that it's me. Well, I don't know. Hold on. Ugh. Is that it? Now I got to make sure it's the right Google account. Yeah. So how you guys doing? Okay, that's good. That's good. I understand that's a one-way question. There's no way. Well, there's a chat room, I suppose. Jeff's here. Leslie's here. April's here. Okay, there we go. Now we're back in. Very good. Very good. So if you're ready, let's start the show. Why not? It's 12:12. It's 12:11. How do you guys think in the chat room about that? About the idea that I just floated there? Because honestly, I know it's change. And people are like, no, that's different. And I don't like it because it's different. But it might, think about it. It might actually be better. So I don't know. I haven't decided. The premise is that we just carve off this first half of the show where we talk about the history of the day and the birthdays. And we turn that into its own thing. And I can crank out 10 of those ahead of time, right? And because they're evergreen. They're just about events that have already happened, birthdays, and people have already died. So, all right. So anyway, let me know in the chat room what you think of that, and I will certainly consider your influence here. All right, what do you say we get? No, now I got to do it over here. All right. Oh, once we get this motor revved up, folks, we're going to go nonstop. So just bear with me. I'm sorry. It's so embarrassing not having everything. Okay, there we go. And now we're good. And all we got to do now is, all right. And scene. Action. Welcome to the High Noon Report. I am Pugs Moran. It is the 30th day of August, year of our Lord, 2023. August 30th, I'll have you know. 242nd day of the year. 242 glorious days of 223 are already in the trash bin of our existence. How many more? 123. 123 until we all got to have them New Year's Eve plans. So as we like to say around here, 123 days. Get those New Year's Eve plans started. Let's go through a little bit of history of today, shall we? We like to start out the show by taking a trip back in a time machine. We call this segment Erstwhile on this day, or maybe you prefer previously on August the 30th. On this day in 1836, the city of Houston is founded by Augustus Chapman Allen and John Kirby Allen. Houston! No, I don't like Houston. Am I not allowed to? I don't know what the rules are here. I'm not a Texan. I'm from the Midwest, but I've lived here since 2001, save for a couple of years where I went back. But my family was here, so I came back from time to time. Anyway, I don't know if I'm allowed to just hate Houston. I know that a natural born Dallasite or Metroplexer, you're allowed to hate Houston. But I've been here 20 years, man. I've been to Houston a lot. And every time I'm like, what is that smell? I'm sorry. I don't like Houston. I'll tell you what I do like. I like the baseball park. I like the baseball park in Houston. That's actually kind of a good time. I've been there. But then it's just moving on. On this day, 1836, happy birthday, Houston. On this day in 1963, the Moscow-Washington hotline between the leaders of the United States and the Soviet Union goes into operation. This is that red phone. I don't even know if it's real, but I think there is a phone. But is it literally just you pick up Yuri? Is it like that? I don't know. Pretty cool though. Pretty cool. It was this what year? 1963. Okay, so it was after the Cuban Missile Crisis. They're like, we can't let this stuff get out of hand. We can't let rabble rousers on the outside ginning up the public into thinking, this is a no-win scenario, and we need to be able to talk to each other. So that's what the phone was done. The phone was put in, so if stuff got tricky, old JFK could pick up the phone and he could call, not Gorbachev, Khrushchev, Nikita, baby, honey, how you doing? It's Jack. Jack was charming. That was on this day in 1963. On this day in 1967, Thurgood Marshall is confirmed as the first African-American justice of the Supreme Court of the United States. We talked about him yesterday, Black Panther. That guy, Chadwick Boseman. Why couldn't I think of his name? Oh, because you're getting old? Okay, we're all getting old. We're all getting old, everybody. Nobody is younger when they wake up in the morning. I'm just pointing that out. All right. On this day in 1992, the 11-day Ruby Ridge standoff ends with Randy Weaver surrendering to federal authorities. Ruby Ridge, remember Ruby Ridge? You hear some people yell. Boy, this is complicated. And this is Ruby Ridge. The Ruby Ridge situation. Oh, my God. First of all, nobody did the right thing. Nobody did that. I mean, look, so if you're on the right, Ruby Ridge has come to sort of symbolize, the liberty and, defiance of the oppressive government, that whole thing. And that's wrong, man. That is so wrong. You can't. Randy Weaver, who, before, by the way, Randy Weaver's dead. I mean, before he died, I'm getting ahead of ourselves. Okay, so what was Ruby Ridge? Ruby Ridge was Randy Weaver and his wife and their kids. Who were they? They were extremist Christians. They were members of the Aryan Nation. They were white separatists, and they just wanted to be left alone. Now, everything that I just told you, you may find those to be despicable ways to be described, right? However, they're American citizens, and if they wanted to go and be left alone, they should have been left alone. And I think right up until Randy Weaver went to that Aryan Nation meeting and met the undercover FBI agent and agreed to sell him weekly sawed-off shotguns, they should have been left alone. But he did. He broke the law. Look, the fact that he's in the Aryan Nation, you don't like that. I don't like that. Nobody does. But he has a right to be. I mean, you have a right to have groups. As long as they're not actually doing the stuff they're talking about, I'm pretty sure the First Amendment allows you to have any dark, weird thought you want. As long as it doesn't hurt anybody. And that's what it was. But he got involved in an undercover FBI sting, an arms sting. And, a couple months later, they filed the charges. They indicted him and they went to seize him. They went to go arrest him because he did this. And by that point, Randy and his wife and family, they had understood that there was probably an investigation that was going to lead to him being put in handcuffs. So they had moved around quite a bit and they had relocated to this place near Ruby Ridge. And it was a cabin in the woods, and the police showed up and there was a standoff and the shooting and everybody presented guns. And of course, the federal government had more and bigger guns. So how the shooting started, it seems like, look, if you're looking for a bad guy here, just swivel your head. Everybody involved in the Ruby Ridge situation was a bad guy. The end result, dead federal officer and a dead wife and a dead kid. Nobody did any significant time for it. I think Randy Weaver ended up getting all of his charges knocked down, and he did 18 months. Dead wife, dead kid. By the way, they were hardcore. They were apocalyptic Christians. They believed, they referred to God as Yahweh, so they were. And again, that's fine, man. That's fine in America. You want to do that, and you hate the rest of society so much. And one of the things that he didn't like was, the mixing of the races and all that. So if that's your thing, man, wow, I think you're a piece of garbage. But you know what? You do you, American. And he went off, and everything was fine. And he broke the law. He also didn't pay taxes. He didn't pay taxes, but that was sort of like a lesser thing. He's one of these sovereign citizens. I don't know. The gunshot, they started shooting, and here's the thing, though. He broke the law. He got caught in a sting. Sorry, you don't like the law. But I don't like that I'm not allowed to sell shot-off shotgun. But, that is a law. And that's just how it rolls around here. When you break the law, you're a criminal. The compact is between us and the rest of civilized society is that even if we don't like these laws, we're going to do our best to abide by them, because that ensures the smooth running of a civilized society. He didn't do that. And he crossed the line, and they got him, and it turned into a whole thing. And it's a terrible moment in American history. And absolutely nobody on either side should be like, Ruby Ridge, remember Ruby. No, let's just forget it. Let's just forget Ruby Ridge and how everybody involved acted like a fool. Janet Reno, the shoot to kill order, anyone presenting with a weapon, they shot his wife in the house. The shoot to kill order was they were given permission to shoot dead anyone who stepped outside the cabin with a firearm displayed. Okay. Now, I might have some issues with that, right? I don't know. That seems a little aggressive for a family. They shot her inside the house. See, that's what I mean by she was inside the house holding a baby. Now, she also had a gun that she had placed on the counter, but, they all had guns. Yeah. bad situation. It was on this day, 1992. The 11-day Ruby Ridge standoff ends with Randy Weaver surrendering to federal authorities. On this day in 1995, erstwhile on this day, the Bosnian War started. NATO launches Operation Deliberate Force. Some of my earliest days in radio, and I was tasked with keeping the show updated on this war. And one of the most difficult things about this war were the people that were involved. The names were insane, man. You had Bosnia-Herzegovina, which you had to learn how to pronounce because everybody's like, Herzegovina? I don't know how to say. Then there was the Bosnian Serbs leader, Radovan Karadzic. Yeah, Radovan Karadzic. And then you had, of course, the Yugoslavian leader, Slobodan Milosevic. Difficult names. It was on this day the Bosnian War started. Let's see. On this day in 1995. On this day in 2021, the last remaining American troops leave Afghanistan, ending U.S. involvement in the war. A speedy 20-year war. The longest in U.S. history. But we did it. I don't know what we did. I still ain't going on a trip to Afghanistan, so I don't know exactly what we did over the course of 20 years, but sure did spend a lot of money. All right, let's move into birthdays. Buonam, buonam, buona. These people have birthdays. Buonam, buonam, buona. I bet you do too. Okay, I don't have the rights to music, so I have to sing songs. Let's go through some of the birthdays. People celebrating birthdays on this day. How about this guy, Fred McMurray? Yeah, if you're not old, you don't know My Three Sons. Fred McMurray was like, he was like a single dad. Did they ever say what happened to the mom? Did he kill the mom? That's fun. Let's rewatch My Three Sons through the perspective that Fred McMurray killed his mom. And then you had Uncle Charlie, or killed the wife. Yeah, I don't know what happened to her. Did they talk about divorce? Anyway, here's the thing about Fred McMurray, born on this day in 1908. Fred McMurray played like the super dad. He was like the coolest dad. He was so nice. He was so friendly. Everybody wanted Fred McMurray. The show was called My Three Sons. He was the ultimate dad. Fred McMurray had been acting in movies for years, and he had never played that guy before. He had always been a bad guy. Fred McMurray was always like, kind of like a strict, dark film noir character, often a bad guy, often a mob guy. Born on this day, 1908, Fred McMurray. Born on this day in 1918, the great Ted Williams as a drive. The splendid Splinter. What was he also? He was the splendid Splinter. He was greatest hitter of all time. I don't know. That's what old heads say. I never had the honor of being able to see Ted Williams play baseball. My lifetime, okay, I'm an old baseball head. Like my lifetime of watching baseball, the dudes who when they came up, I was like, this dude's gonna hit. Those guys are Kirby Puckett, Tony Gwynn, Frank Thomas, George Brett. I'm trying to think of who else. Robin Yount. I mean, these were the guys that I grew up with. He's getting a hit. Ted Williams, they say the greatest hitter of all time. Born on this day in 1918. Born on this day in 1930. One of the good ones. Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett was born on this day. I call him one of the good ones because in billionaire class, I don't like them too much. Most of these guys, I don't think I could survive a long car ride in the back seat with them. They would be so irritating. They're not normal people. Billionaires are not normal. I mean, you know that. I've long claimed stake to this position. Billionaires are weird. Okay. Warren Buffett seems to be one of the normal ones. Seems like a cool old guy, keeps everything in perspective. Yeah, he's earned a lot of money because he's efficient and he's good at what he does. He doesn't get involved in nonsense politics. He doesn't support crazy candidates because he thinks it'll give him an edge in the markets. Warren Buffett seems to be a good dude. My God, one of the great capitalists in this country, a country built on the idea that capitalism is the way to make it in America. So Warren Buffett, happy birthday. One of the good ones, in my opinion. But you don't look, I know that this conflicts with you don't get to be a billionaire without doing some really crappy things. And I'm sure he did. I'm sure some of the decisions that he has made has had butterfly effects on all kinds of people. But come on, man, I'm so tired of doing this. I mean, on the whole, who's the cooler billionaire, Warren Buffett or Elon Musk? Come on. It's not even a question. Tug McGraw. Hey, more baseball heads. Look at me. We're talking more old baseball. Tug McGraw, born on this day. I like Tug McGraw. Tug McGraw was always a pitcher for the Phillies when I was a little kid. Big guy up there. just dropping pellets of rice in the catcher's mitt. Tim McGraw's dad. You like Tim McGraw? Yeah, here's his dad. Although it not like, I think Tug McGraw, I think it's a weird story. I think like Tug McGraw knocked up Tim McGraw's mom. And then she was like a cocktail waitress or something. His mom was trying to become a country singer. And that's where like Tim gets it from. And she was a cocktail waitress at a bar that the Phillies used to go to, and then Tim McGraw was born. It was one of those deals. It wasn't like Tim McGraw grew up the son of a, famous baseball player. No, it was a little different. Anyway, Tug McGraw, born on this day, 1944. Born on this day in 1948, Louis Black. American comedian, actor, author, Louis Black, the angry man. The angry man. I love Louis Black. I don't know if I love Louis Black anymore. You know why? Because everybody's just an unfunny, unpolished Louis Black these days. That's become sort of the default for people. You sit around at a picnic table in a backyard, everybody's getting along fine, and then 5 bars in, you're doing battle with like 5 triggered Louis Black types, and they don't have punchlines. They just have anger, and everybody's angry now. Louis Black is no longer that interesting. Too bad. Happy birthday, Louis Black. I liked you. Born on this day in 1963, somebody who I just want to give a round of applause to. He's one of my favorites. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Michael Chiklis's birthday. Who's Michael Chiklis? I know. He's one of them that guy actors. Not to me. To me, he's Vic Mackey. To me, he's Red Auerbach. To me, he's John Belushi. To me, he's the commissioner. Anyway, Michael Chiklis is celebrating a birthday today, so we're going to do a Michael Chiklis draft. Yeah, because I like him. Because I likes Michael Chiklis. These are all things that Michael Chiklis has done. We're going to apply the NFL draft methodology, meaning the first thing that I say is going to be the number 1 overall pick, followed by 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's get started with the Michael Chiklis draft on his birthday. Here we go. Number 1 off the board, the number 1 overall pick in the Michael Chiklis draft, and this wasn't that difficult. It is Vic Mackey of The Shield. The Shield, man. Woo! Best cop show of all time. Give me a better one. If you've watched The Shield, if you haven't watched The Shield, shut your mouth, because why are you even participating in this conversation? If you've seen The Shield and don't think it's the best cop series of all time, I would legitimately be interested in learning if that's, why, what your reasoning, what is better, what do you think is better? Hill Street Blues, maybe, but that's way at the other end. Like, I think the bookends on great cop shows begins with Hill Street Blues and ends with The Shield. I don't think there's been a great cop show in between. NYPD Blue, very good. There's a whole bunch of them. You can name them, but name a better one. The Wire. Okay, you know what? That's pretty good. I forgot about that, though. I don't think of The Wire so much as a police-centered show, though. I see that as both a police and criminal, and like 3. The Wire's great. Shield is better. You haven't moved me. All right, number 2 in the Michael Chiklis draft, we're going with a little role that I just love. Michael Chiklis's role as Steve from the Seinfeld episode Stranded in season 3. Do you remember Steve? Steve throws a party in the Hamptons. Steve lives in the Hamptons with his wife. They're a buttoned-up suburban couple that are friends with Elaine or George or somebody. I'm not entirely sure. But somehow, George, Elaine, and Jerry get swindled into going out to this party in the Hamptons. George hooks up with somebody and begs Jerry, I know you drove, but can I use the car? I'm going to get lucky. So Jerry gives George the car, stranding Jerry and Elaine at Michael Chiklis's house in the Hamptons. They're very nice. They're very kind. They're very decent. They seem like a wonderful suburban couple. And then at the end of the night, after Kramer comes and picks him up at 2:00 in the morning and drives him back to New York City, Jerry says to Michael Chiklis, if you're ever in the city, don't hesitate. Your hospitality and kindness has been duly noticed, and I would love to be able to reciprocate. And then, of course, in this episode, Steve shows up like the next day, and he's like, Jerry, and he wants to party, and he and Kramer get wasted while Jerry's out, and they get a prostitute, and Michael Chiklis has sex as Steve with the prostitute, and Jerry, it's one of my favorite episodes, and it's one of the episodes that Larry David struggled the most with. He rewrote it multiple times. It was originally pulled from the 3rd season schedule because Larry couldn't get it right. And finally, it's very good. There you go. Steve, number 2 off the Michael Chiklis board. We're going with Steve from Seinfeld, episode Stranded from season 3. Number 3, John Belushi and Wired. This is, I believe, the first thing Michael Chiklis has ever done. Wired was a movie that was made about not necessarily the life of John Belushi, but the decline of John Belushi. And Michael Chiklis played John Belushi. And at the time this movie came out, and we're talking like 1983. I mean, this was like right after John Belushi. Hollywood basically shunned this film. Hollywood essentially, they didn't like it. They didn't like it because it really did show how seedy and the underbelly of Hollywood, not just like people who didn't make it and were struggling, the A-listers. John Belushi was an A-listers. So the movie Wired has been pretty much not even marginalized, just ignored thoroughly by Hollywood. It was Michael Chiklis playing John Belushi. It's fantastic. I love that movie. And I remember at the time, everybody going, that movie sucks. I mean, there's some weird stuff, like the ghost of John Belushi is a big player. And it's just, anyway, Wired, Michael Chiklis, his first big role in Hollywood. Oh, and here's the downside of it. This is why I like Michael Chiklis so much, because I loved him in Wired. And I'm like, I like this guy. This guy played Belushi good. This guy's gonna have a career. Hollywood killed Michael Chiklis for about 10, 15 years. How he was such a great up and coming young actor. And then because of his association and because of playing John Belushi, nobody would work with him. Anybody who would work with John Belushi, who liked John Belushi, felt that movie was offensive. And they wouldn't work with Michael Chiklis. And he had a difficult time getting roles. He was supposed to be a movie star. And then finally, in the early 90s, I think CBS gave him a chance with The Commish. And he was awesome in The Commish. The Commish itself wasn't a great show, but he was fantastic. And that's what brought him back. And then he's got The Shield. And now, all right. So number 3, John Belushi in Wired as number 3. Pick 3 off the Michael Chiklis birthday draft. Number 4, we're going to go with The Commish. I just said everything you need to know about The Commish. Number 4, he was great in The Commish. Number 5 is the most recent one. And there was a whole bunch of ones that I could have gone with, characters that he's played and roles that he's played. But if you're watching the HBO series Winning Time, number 5, Michael Chiklis as Red Auerbach, the owner of the Boston Celtics. Now, Winning Time is the story of the Showtime Lakers, Magic's Lakers, Kareem's Lakers, James Worthy, Kurt Rambis, the rise of Pat Riley, the implosion of Paul Westhead. So that's what Winning Time is. However, the Lakers' big rivals throughout those years were Larry Bird, Red Auerbach, Casey Jones, and the Boston Celtics. They had Robert Parrish, Kevin McHale, Danny Ainge. They were stacked. So this show, Red Auerbach is a major character in Winning Time. He is the antagonist to John C. Reilly's Jerry Buss. And it's Michael Chiklis as Red Auerbach, the legendary NBA owner of the Boston Celtics. All right, that concludes our Michael Chiklis draft on his birthday. We're not going to do any undrafted free agents because it's all just characters from things, and it would take too long to explain. But there you have it, the 5 picks in the Michael Chiklis draft. First off the board, Vic Mackey, The Shield. 2, Steve from the Seinfeld episode Stranded in season 3. The 3rd pick off the board, John Belushi in Wired. A really incredible performance by Michael Chiklis. In my estimation, I loved that movie. A lot of people didn't, and it cost him a lot of years of his career. Number 4 off the board. How about The Commish? Right? You like The Commish. The Commish is fine. Number 5, Red Auerbach, Winning Time. And that's it. That's the draft. Born on this day in 1972. This will be the final one of today's birthdays. Cameron Diaz. Cameron Diaz. Here's my thoughts on Cameron Diaz. Nobody cares about your thought. Well, there's at least 20 people in the chat room that care. So I'm going to go see schizophrenic me trying to get involved. Cameron Diaz. Here's my thoughts on Cameron Diaz. I know stuff about Cameron Diaz. I know stuff about Cameron Diaz that a publicist doesn't want out. I know lots of stuff about Cameron Diaz. And a lot of people know stuff about Cameron Diaz. Here's the stuff I know about Cameron Diaz, and I'm going to put it in the most non-judgmental way possible. Cameron Diaz is known to be openly promiscuous and free with herself with everybody. Everybody. I know people who have had do I want to say that? Does that a little bit? I'm just telling you, she's a cool chick. She doesn't have any hangups. That's the other thing. She's a cool chick. She's really cool. People are like, nah, she's really cool. But she's like, has no hang-ups. she's like, okay, like she just meets you. You could go home with her. Like and here's the other great thing about Cameron Diaz, as I understand it to be her sexually liberated ways. What? Woman in 2023? Why not? See, I'm not judging. You might be going, well, she sounds like a huge, yeah, no, that's judgment. I've decided that I don't think I need to judge, because I don't have a problem with a girl who's promiscuous. And she don't have a problem with it. She seems to be doing pretty good in her life. Got a lot of boyfriends. She's got a lot of other things too. She's awesome. Anyway, there you go. I am a big Cameron Diaz fan, and I love that I know a couple of truly hot stories. And I'll tell you what, we ever go out and share a beer together and you ask me, you say, hey, tell us some of those Cameron Diaz stories, I'd be happy to give them to you. And I'll even give you the names. I'll give you the names of the people who told me, because you'll know the names too. All right. Happy birthday to Cameron Diaz. Time now to have some fun with people who've passed away. That's right. Death isn't always sad. Sometimes years later, you can get together on a stream every day and talk about it and laugh. And that's what we try to do here. It's time to play Heaven or Hell. That's right. Dead people. Heaven or Hell. This is where we go through a list of people who dropped dead on this day, and we decide if they are in heaven or if they are in hell. First, let's start off on this day in 526. Theodoric the Great. He was an Italian ruler. He's in hell. You can't go around calling yourself Theodoric the Great and not be a complete ass. He's in hell. Dead on this day in 1970, Abraham Zapruder, American clothing manufacturer, witnessed the assassination of John F. Kennedy. He filmed it. Abraham Zapruder, Dallas guy, right here, probably lived down the block. No, probably not. I don't know where old Abe Zapruder lived. Probably wasn't in Allen, if you know what I mean. That was probably somewhere around here. Heaven or hell for Abe Zapruder. I'll tell you what, he's gone to heaven. Here's why. Could you imagine how nuts this country would have been if he didn't just happen to be filming? I mean, at least we have video. At least we can see kind of what happened. You know how insane the JFK conspiracy theories were with the video? Imagine if there was no video. Imagine the stories that we would believe concerning the... So yeah, Abraham Zapruder's in heaven. How about this one? This is another one. Preemptively, we're putting him in heaven because this is a dude. I should do a draft on him, but I can't because he did so much and there's so much good there and we don't have time. And I pledged at the start of the show that I was going to try and make this segment a bit more concise. Charles Bronson. Charles Bronson died on this day in 2003. Oh my God, was Bronson cool. The sexiest picture I have ever seen in my life, and not sexy like, oh, I've gotta go. I mean, like, let's try and design something that will titillate people into making them think thoughts that they otherwise would. Sexy. Not sexy. It's not like Hustler. I'm spreading. Not like that. No, the sexiest picture I have ever seen is Charles Bronson and his then wife Jill Ireland just walking down the streets. It's like from the 1970s. You know what? I'm going to find it for you. And I'll put it up. It's an easy picture to find. It's like, I want to frame it. I want to frame it and put it above my bed. It's just like, they are just smoldering sex. All right, here. So what would that be? Where do you see this? All right, here we go. All right, let me see. Come on, give me that picture. I can't find it. How is it that I can't find the picture now? It's got to be here somewhere. There it is. All right, here it is. Oh, but it's not in color. I want it in color. All right, hold on. Let me keep scrolling. Good Lord. Here, you know what? Here, we'll just pull them up. We'll scroll through them. We'll scroll through them together because there's a lot. There's just one picture that strikes me as like, just, man, those are two sexual beings. Those are two people. Here. Okay. All right. Now these are not all representative of what they're older. These are older. These are like 80s or whatever. Okay. This one, right? Look at that. Look at those two. Those two just walking down the street in like 1970, whatever. My God. He is ripped. He is yoked like a son of a... And her, tell me she doesn't look like she's leading him to the bedroom. God, that is like the sexiest... I don't know. There you have it. Anyway, Charles Bronson, he's in heaven because he's awesome. Could have spent time talking about the movies he was in, but hey, look, if you were... Magnificent Seven, Dirty Dozen, Death Wish, and then like a million other things. He's just did a million. Charles Bronson, he's in heaven. Dead on this day in 2003. Dead on this day in 2015. Wes Craven. Okay. All right. Right. Time out. Because Wes Craven, the king of horror, king of scaries, king of blood and gore. Woo! Wes Craven made some scary ass movies. Wes Craven made more than just Nightmare on Elm Street. Wes Craven. Is a dude like that, a mind like that? Does he go to heaven or does he go to hell? Here's what I say. I say it is easy to say, oh, that guy's going to hell. Anybody with that kind of a mind, okay, I can see that. But let's dig deeper. How many Wes Craven movies have you enjoyed? How many Wes Craven? I can tell you that I have loved just about everything that crazy man has ever done in a film. Thusly, that dude has probably produced more joy, more thrills, more. Wes Craven is going to heaven. I know the guy who does all the scary Freddy movies and all that. You think he should know. Joy, man. It's about what are you doing with your art? How are you contributing every day? If you are contributing in a way that is making people bummed out, like if you're like just a guy that serves eviction notices, right? You need to weigh that. You need to counterbalance that by doing something good. So go make some movies that thrill millions of people. You'll get into heaven. I was ranting there and it went nowhere. Folks, a reminder, this is a stream of consciousness. This is me nonstop talking about news and incidents of the day. Sometimes I'm gonna head down into an alley like the band in Animal House, and we're gonna walk into the one. We're gonna have to turn and go back. Dead on this day in 2019, Valerie Harper. She was Rhoda. She was Valerie Hogan from the Hogan family. Dude, shut up. Valerie Harper was cool. She's in heaven as well. Dead on this day in 2022. How about Mikhail Gorbachev? Glasnost. Yeah, that's something. He basically backed the world. This Mikhail Gorbachev, by giving in, by finally going, we can't do this anymore. By finally giving in, he took that like doomsday clock back 2 minutes. I don't know how many other people could say that. Mikhail Gorbachev is probably in heaven. All right, that's going to do it for all of the things that shaped this day. We've gone through the erstwhiles on this day. We've gone through the birthdays. And now it's time for us to go into the news of the day. That's right. And once again, I'd like to remind you all that today's show is executive produced by Hugh and Joel. Hugh and Joel, man. Thank you so much. We're still a long way off our goal. It was a really bad month. We're still a long way off our goal. We need to raise about 300, 350 more. I'll let you know when we get there. If we get there, the show runs. We need to do this by the latest Tuesday, right? Because, okay. At any rate, that's the situation we're in. And you are all encouraged to drop a little something. Treat me like I'm your bartender. You hanging out, you listening to the show, having a cup of coffee, drop the cup of coffee, drop the price of a beer. Maybe you want to sit and drink all day, every day, and you only want to tip a while. Maybe you drop a little bit more. It certainly would be appreciated. We thank you. And a special thanks, of course, go to Hugh and Joel. Bigger than average tips. They were wonderful tips. Thank you. And I still got to thank Tracy. I'm still thanking Tracy, who tipped earlier in the month and got us started and took care of us that's why I wasn't pushing, and that's why we're in trouble now, because Tracy got us over the hump last month and got us started for the new month. So thank you to Tracy as well. All right, let's get started. Here are the things that are happening in the world today. The big story, of course, Idalia, the hurricane. Look, I'm not going to do a whole bunch of hurricane coverage. You can get that anywhere else. You put on any of the news channels, you're going to get hurricane coverage. I will say this. Here's what I want to talk about. So it made landfall in Florida. It's the bad weather in Florida. You know what I mean? However, I will comment that it doesn't seem to be what they were telling us it was going to be for the 3-day ramp up. A hurricane of historically devastating. So it doesn't seem like that right now. Some places were spared. Some places, more remote places, took a pounding. But more remote places take poundings all the time. They know that when they go to the more remote place. So, the problems, the fears about Tampa look to be possibly not as bad as expected. Also not as bad as expected in other places. However, I did watch the press conference this morning with Governor DeSantis, who is running for president of the United States, which is interesting because, he's getting mollywopped in this presidential race. He's not doing so great. It's certainly not against Trump anyway. And a lot of these governors from these Gulf states, they tend to run for president after gaining really wonderful national press for the way they handle a natural disaster. So this hurricane comes at a really good time for DeSantis and the DeSantis campaign. They're like, look, this is your opportunity to look presidential. This is your opportunity. And they seem to be doing that. And DeSantis is not, he's like, I honestly, if you had said, how is DeSantis going to handle this? I'm going to be like, he'll blame the gays, or something like, you know what I mean? I thought like he's not. To Ron DeSantis's credit, he is seeming to be a good leader, a leader of all of Florida, even the people who dress in drag at this moment, at least. So that's good. However, he did do something. He did do something that I thought was very manipulative. And it was also, he was getting out in front of what are the criticisms of him going to be in the way he handled this. He's getting out in front of that because his opponents and people will say, no, he botched that, right? They'll say one of the things that they'll use is the death count. So whatever if there is a death count, God, let's hope there's not, we don't know. It's still too early. It seems everything's, we don't know. You know what? I hesitate to say that everything seems okay because I will never forget the day Uvalde happened while we were streaming, and we covered it for a few minutes. And then I went, you know what? It doesn't seem like there's anything. And then 4 hours later, an ABC station out of San Antonio says 13 dead kids. And I'm like, what? So, I hesitate to say that Hurricane Idalia wasn't as bad as they had told us. So the death toll is going to be one of the things that's going to be used against Ron DeSantis. If it's unnecessarily high, or even if it's whatever number it is, they're going to claim it's unnecessarily high because that's what political, opponents do. So he tried to get out in front of it. Like he was talking about, and then, we're going to have the electric back on throughout the center of the state by about noon tomorrow. We're looking at that as a reality. As far as deaths go, that's a thing. A question that we all ask ourselves, what is a legitimate death toll? Is it? And then he went on to say, he said, somebody who is standing on the beach when the hurricane rolls in, I mean, that you can say is related to the storm. But a day later, if a guy is cleaning up the wreckage and he has a heart attack, is that storm related? I mean, we're going to see some fudging in the number. That was DeSantis. That was him trying to put it out there first that they're going to say that a lot more, but they're going to be talking about dudes that have heart attacks. So I want to ask the chat room, because I thought that was an interesting question. So the question would be, in a final death toll, is a guy cleaning up after the hurricane a day after it passes through, he suffers a fatal heart attack doing that specific work, is that hurricane related? Because that's what DeSantis want. You could tell DeSantis was like, that ain't hurricane related. You can't pad that to the death, because he wants to obviously keep the death toll as low as possible. So he was trying to get out in front of it. But other than that, I think so far DeSantis seems to be not letting me down. Like I just assumed he'd let us all down and just use this as a platform to campaign. But he legitimately seems to be okay. All right, so other people are going to talk about Idalia. That's it. You want to see coverage and maps and all that kind of stuff. There's a million other places you can go. Let's talk about the heat. Let's talk about the heat, or in this very moment, the lack thereof here in North Texas. And I say that because this ain't heat. This ain't hot. I woke up this morning and my air conditioning was off. Why was my air conditioning off? Because for the first time in like 3 months, it achieved its goal of hitting the temperature that I had pre-selected. It turned off. I woke up. I'm like, oh my God. It's 74 degrees in this bedroom right now. That's pretty awesome. Here's the current situation that we're dealing with, because remember now we all got to be concerned about the heat dome. Heat dome, that's a new one. I love new weather words. And new weather words every couple of years. New things come up. And then they just made up the word. But then every reporter on the news uses the word like it's something they learned 15 years ago in college. It's also performative. Heat dome. Never heard of it before. I mean, I lived here a while. It's called other things. Heat wave. It's called a heat wave, not a heat dome. Anyway, the heat dome that basically settled over in North Texas and took a huge dump for the past 90 days, giving us, triple-digit temperatures every single day by 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That has moved up to the north, and it was really kicking the crap out of the Midwest and all that stuff for a few days. So we've got a break. It is currently here in Highland Park, Texas, 95 degrees, 5 degrees under 100. You know what that's like for us Texans? Yeah, I did. I just said it. I just claimed membership. 95 is nothing. 95 is like, yeah, bring it. This is nothing. Not other people, 95 is pretty bad. I'm going to go outside and wash the car. This afternoon, I'm going to wash the car. I'm like, it's under 110. I may as well do something. I'm going to my kid's football game today. He's out there in Euless. I got to go out to a football game out in Euless. It's, the last 2 football games I've attended, it has been 108, like both games. Horrible. Awful. Oh, my God. You got to take a shower before you go to the game. You got to take a shower when you get home from the game. You got to burn your clothes because they're just soaked in wet. So 95 degrees is nice. However, here's the heat story. That old heat dome is apparently, what? Beep, 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 beep. It's backing up. It's back. The heat dome is backing back up over us. Triple digits are coming. Triple digits are on the way, folks. Let me show you. Here's what we're looking at. At least here in North Texas, it ain't fun. All right, so today they're saying the high is going to be 98 degrees. Tomorrow the high is 98 degrees. Friday the high is 99 degrees. Saturday the high is 100 degrees. Sunday 101. Monday 101. And then Tuesday, Labor Day 101, I should say. And then Tuesday back to 99, and that's all they give us. So, woo! It was nice while it lasted. 95 degrees. Get outside and enjoy. Here's a story that's trending we all need to be aware of. There's going to be a nationwide emergency test. This is going to be the first test of a new system. This is crazy because, I used to grow up watching TV where you'd be watching something and all of a sudden, beep, beep. Following is a test of the emergency broadcast system. This is only a test. And then, beep. And you had to sit there and you'd watch your TV. You're like, and they never, not like today. Like today when a pop-up hits me on YouTube, and that's basically what that was. That was the world is ending. It's the Cold War. That was their version of a pop-up when I was a kid. The beep, that thing. When it was over, it didn't even like on YouTube, when the pop-up ends, you go right back to where you were in the show you were watching. Nah, not in the 70s. I'm telling you, it was a knife fight. You lost, however, that was a 1 minute, interruption. You lost a minute of whatever you were watching, never to be seen again. You're never going to know what's going on in that episode of Beretta. You're just not. All right, so there's a new kind of message system because we all have cell phones. So it's going to be kind of like, I guess, the Amber Alert. There will be a massive test of the emergency alert system this fall. Here's what you need to know. Test messages will be sent to all TVs, all radios, and all mobile phones simultaneously. Get ready for a lot of simultaneous buzzing phones on October the 4th. That's when this is going down, October the 4th. There's going to be a nationwide test of the emergency alert system, EAS. FEMA is coordinating with the Federal Communications Commission to carry out the test at approximately 2:20 p.m. Eastern time. So here in the great central time zone, 1:20. So it'll be 1:20 on October the 4th. Yeah, October the 4th at 1:20. That's a Wednesday. All of our phones are going to go. It was split into 2 portions. The WEA portion of the test will be directed to all consumer cell phones. This will be the 3rd nationwide test, but the 2nd test to all cellular devices. The test message will display in either English or Spanish, depending on the language settings of the wireless hands. Duh. Did you need to say that? If my phone is in Spanish, I would expect all text, because that's what the phone does. You don't need to say that. You know how I hate bad journalism and sloppy writing. The message will read, I should be an editor. I really should. I won't do it for free. What is that? Who am I? Daddy Warbucks? I can do stuff for free. That's not who I am. The message will read, this is a test of the National Wireless Emergency Alert System. No action is needed. They should follow it up with, this is only a test. Because, that's how, a little something for us Gen Xers. That's how they ended it. That's how they used to, boomers, Gen Xers, us old folks. This is only a test. All right, there you go. It's going to be on October 4th, 1:20. We're all going to get bombarded by text messages that we don't want. Hold on. Let me do a little something here. Sorry, folks. Hold on. I got my alerts on my Chicago Bears and my waiver wire. Cut down. Hey, look, timeout. Timeout from the news. Yesterday was cut down day. I was very excited. I was very excited. Why? Because my absolute steaming pile of a crap of a team, one of the good things about having a steaming pile of crap in the team is you get things like the first overall pick in the draft, and then you get things like the number one pick on the waiver wire. So what that means is that every player that is cut by every team in the NFL, Bears get to pick first. They be like, okay. All right. And here's what occasionally happens. Sometimes players get cut, not for the fact that they can't play, but they get cut for cap reasons or age, or they drafted a guy who in the fourth round who's actually playing really better now. So anyway, that's what's happening. So I was just alerted of something my guy Ryan Poles just did. You know what he's doing? Look, this means nothing to anybody that isn't a Bear fan, but imagine like the Cowboys, if the Cowboys did this. And I don't know if the Cowboys have ever done this. Like seem to go out of their way to, the Cowboys, you don't have to do it with the Cowboys because the Cowboys are a national team. So my point is this. What Ryan Poles, the general manager of the Bears, have done is he seems to be actively going out looking for guys who grew up in the Chicagoland area. He's got a team filled with like Chicagoland high school all-stars. Seriously, he's got a crap, and he picked up another one the other day. Dan Feeney, Carl Sandburg High School. Anyway, nothing. I'm sorry. I'm streaming, and then, sometimes I like to go off on tangents because just streaming out every word that pops into my head and trying to make it relate to something that is relevant to the news today. And sometimes again. All right, let's keep moving. Prince Harry is trending. Prince Harry is trending because he's got a new Netflix series, right? A new doc series. It's I don't know what it's called. The Invictus something. I don't know. I don't care much for Harry. And I don't care how much Netflix is trying to shove suits down my neck. I'm not going to watch the Meghan Markle show. I'm just not going to do it. I don't care about these people. I don't mind these people. Okay, so let's not be. It's not like, screw Harry. I don't have that. He seems like the coolest of the group, right? I mean, but that's a low bar. That group, they're a bunch of chodes. Those people suck. So being the coolest of it, his mom was definitely the coolest. So Harry, they debuted. I guess he did some at a theater in London. There was a theater in London that was debuting the Netflix series, to a big VIP audience of people. It's like the first time ever it's going to drop on Netflix in 10 hours, but first we're going to show it to you. It was one of those kind of things. Fancy people, fancy connected people got to see it first. And Harry showed up and the people went nuts. Yeah, apparently that's a big story, and that's worthy of trending globally. Prince Harry showed up at the premiere, and he wasn't expected to, and now people are nuts. Okay, here's something that's interesting. NBC News, this comes out of, it's a story that's the FTC. Yeah. Okay, so I started watching that show on HBO, Telemarketers, and so now I'm all into scams, and I'm into like ways. Oh no, hold on. I want to do this, but here's oh no. Jeez. I shouldn't be laughing. This is serious. This is an old man going through something. Oh boy. But I want to get back to this. I want to get back to this other story though too. All right, we've got some breaking news. Apparently, I want to get this right. I don't want to get it wrong. Let me click on it. Is it a story? Oh, it's not even a story yet. It's just a headline. Oh, okay. All right. We're going to watch this. NBC News is breaking and leading with some video of Mitch McConnell froze up again. Remember a couple of weeks ago where he had the brain fart and everybody was like, oh no, Mitch McConnell, he's having a stroke right there. And we were all worried. And then they're like, it's not that. Well, apparently it's happened again. So let's go to the video. Let's see. Let me see what this looks like. There it is. Okay. Tap on this story. Let's see what this is all about. We'll stop the show for good video. If there's good breaking video, we will stop what we're doing. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell appeared to freeze again Wednesday, this time during a gaggle with reporters in Covington, Kentucky, stopping for more than 30 seconds after he was asked if he would run for re-election. Well, maybe he was thoughtfully pondering the question. The Kentucky Republican froze in July at a news conference on Capitol Hill, going silent for 19 seconds. Whoa, this was a bigger one. He went longer this time. Is it going to be progressively longer until he's just dead? Is he still alive? I don't know. It's been 4 hours. When it became apparent that McConnell had frozen again on Wednesday, an aide came up to him and asked, "Did you hear the question, Senator?" McConnell continued to be unresponsive. Once McConnell re-engaged, he responded briefly to another question about Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron, a Republican. His aide needed to repeat the question to him. McConnell was then asked about former President Donald Trump. Another question. Oh, good. Yeah, he's got the brain scrambled. So now let's get him into some polarizing questions, right? Here, let's watch it. We'll watch the video. Because I think this is just breaking down the video, and we don't need that. Okay. All right, here, can I make it bigger? How do I make it bigger on here? That's what she said. You know about my ongoing thing with my 14-year-old son. Everything needs to be turned into a "that's what she said" joke. All right, I don't know that we're gonna be able to see it in its full regalia. There you go. That's about the best I'm gonna be able to do. Okay. Boop. There he is. Let's see if we can watch this. Is everything tuned up?
That's okay. What are your thoughts on running for re-election in 2026?
What are my thoughts about what?
Running for re-election in 2026.
That's
Start the clock.
Did you hear the question, Senator? Running for re-election in 2026? All right, I'm sorry, you all. We're going to need a minute.
20.
Senator. Penny.
uh,
30.
Okay.
34 seconds. Oh, I got 34.
Somebody else have a question? Please speak up.
Yeah. Okay. So, thank you, Leslie.
People always ask.
Politics aside, that's your grandpa, huh? For some of us, that's your dad. That's your mom. Oh, it's Mitch McConnell. Screw that guy. Hey, man, that shit comes for all of us. Don't engage in that kind of voodoo, my friend. I am serious. That kind of stuff. Look, I know it's Dianne Feinstein should be rocked out of her wheelchair and beaten with sticks. Okay, she shouldn't be serving. I can agree with you there, but can we tone it down a little? She's an old lady. He's an old man. You know, I believe, hey, I'm not an ageist, but when there are obvious signs of, dare I say, incompetence, that is that man right there pausing for 30 seconds to answer a simple question about whether or not he's going to run for re-election. He is incompetent. He is not an incompetent man. He's the majority leader. He's obviously, he was a mover and a shaker in his day. Not anymore. And you also know that I'm a great believer in the elder system, that I don't think anybody should be president that isn't at least 70 years old, because my argument here is I'm tired of climbers trying to earn the presidency. I'm tired of people who want to be president not so that they can be a great leader for all of us, but because they want to be really cool when they get out of office. You know, like they look at Obama and they're like, man, Obama's a young man and he's just a rock star now for the rest of his life. They look at George W. Bush same way. I don't want those people anymore. Here's what I want as president. I want people who've already made their money. I want people who don't need money from anybody else. I want people that maybe are having a crisis of their mortality. You know, maybe they're going to try and earn their way into heaven. All right, so I'm for that. But obviously this is not that. This is not, there are old people. There are people Mitch McConnell's age who are incredibly smart, who are incredibly vibrant, who are still on the top of their game. But there are other people who have these things, and there is something wrong with him. There is something wrong with Mitch McConnell that is obvious at this point. You know, a lot of people are like, but what about Biden? Yeah, Biden's the same, but not like that. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. Trust me, we'd have heard. I mean, Biden's an old man. Biden seems to me to be Man, just here's what I'm going to say about Biden. Biden doesn't seem to be at the top of his game. Okay, and I think it's time we have a president who is at the top of their game. I don't know who that is. You know me, I like Nikki Haley. I'm liking Nikki Haley. I mean, I don't look at parties. I mean, I vote all over. I vote for the people I like. But right now, of the current group, I like Nikki Haley. That's sad. I'm sorry. That's sad. Mitch McConnell froze up again. Should we watch it one more time? Let's watch it one more time. I want to watch it one more time just because, well, here's why. I want to watch it on the bigger screen so that I can see. All right, here we go. All right.
In 2026.
That's
Man, I don't know how close you can
Did
get
you hear
to
the
it.
question, Senator? Running for re-election in
Lost.
2026?
His eyes are so gone. He's gone. He's somewhere else. He is incapable
All right,
of
I'm sorry, you all. We're
connecting
going to need a
his
minute.
head to his mouth.
Senator. Any-
They're obviously they're not telling us. Doctors know what's wrong with him. He should not be in this position. He should certainly not be running for re-election. This is insane.
okay.
Well, because he'll get votes because he's got name recognition. The
Somebody
machine
else
that
have a
has built
question?
itself
Please
up
speak
around
up.
him. They're gonna Kid Craddock his ass. They're gonna Weekend at Bernie's his ass. They're gonna Wes Martin his ass.
Refresh is even more refreshing.
By that I mean long after he's dead, they're still gonna have him out there like he ain't dead. Oh my God. Okay, so let's get back to this. Let's get back to this other story that's trending here. This is a scam. It's an Elon Musk scam. Now, that is not to say that this is Elon Musk perpetrating the scam. It is a scam that is using Elon Musk and his popularity among dumb people. That's honestly what's going on here. Like Elon Musk is what a dumb person thinks is an apex human. That's I think Elon Musk is a weirdo. He doesn't seem to be a good person. He seems to have. He seems to be. We're going to talk about this in a bit. At the end of the show, we're going to talk about Hard Knocks, and there is some Aaron Rodgers in Elon Musk. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, Pugs. A couple weeks ago, you're talking about how Aaron Rodgers, how he seemed like such a good guy, and maybe you had to reconsider your opinion of him. Nah, I've watched more of the Hard Knocks, and now I'm getting a real feel for who Aaron Rodgers is. It's very similar mental-wise as Elon Musk. It's not so much that they think. It's not so much that they are doing the things that they are doing because of their own wants and desires. They're doing the things that they're doing because they think they're different than you. And by different, I mean above. And by above, I mean like some superior class or race of human being. And there's an arrogance that comes with this, this sort of God among men sort of syndrome that a lot of these powerful people, I'll talk about this later. Oh my God. But Elon, so I don't like Elon Musk, but he's not doing the scam. They're just using him. They're using Elon Musk because they know that people that are easy targets, they're going to go, well, if Elon Musk is saying it must, people like that. People who don't really understand. So here's the scam. We all need to be aware of this. And honestly, we're going to watch it. And I showed it. Hold on a second. I'm on the wrong page. Get out of here, Senator Mitch McConnell. No, that's not it. No, that's not it. Hold on, folks. Okay. Nope. Here we go. Okay. So these are deep fake scams, right? Do we know about deep fake scams? I don't really know all that much about them other than it's like they take people and they make them say and do things that aren't right. Whatever it is. Deep fake scams have arrived. Fake videos spread on Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok and YouTube. Deep fakes have circulated online for years, mostly as warnings. Now the proliferation of advanced video manipulation technology has made them easy to produce. All right, so here's what's going on. There is a financial investment scam that is being perpetrated on the socials, and people that's raising a whole bunch of money. And now the Is it the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission? Hold on, let me get the government agency that's going after them. Essentially, what they're doing is they're preying on stupid people. And hey, give us your money. And the only reason you should give them the money is because they're showing deep fake clips of Elon Musk endorsing this scam. And now I'm going to show you an example of this. Okay. Okay. Nope, that's not it. Okay, here it is. So these are the deep fake. Hold on a second. This ain't it. Oh, all right. Never mind. Hold on. Not never mind. I'm going to find this for you. It's just that I'm having a difficult time. Hold on. All right. I got to go into my history. So bear with me. I don't make a sandwich or something. You know how this goes. Where was I now? It's a cool video that I wanted to show you guys. I can't just be skipping over this. Can't. What? Heck you say. All right, give me a second. I hate going through my history. But this was just a few hours ago. It wasn't, Sorry, guys. But for some reason, this happens a lot where a story that I will get and then I'll find a piece of video and then the piece of video becomes really popular because the story's out there. And then by the time we get on the show and I try to play the video's been pulled. And I'm afraid that might be the case here. That sucks. Is this even going to be worth it? I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? All right. Never mind. All right. Here, let me just go. We'll try and do it this way. How you guys doing? Sit tight. I appreciate you. All right, I'm going to give this one try. Okay, come on. Is this it? Hold on. All right, so here's the thing about these deep fakes. Apparently, this one is going all around. All right, never mind. Not going to be able to show it to you. They pulled it. Never mind. Okay, so basically, here's what it is. It's Elon Musk talking to Gayle King. It's Elon Musk talking to Bill Maher. It's Elon Musk talking to Joe Rogan. And it's Elon Musk in all of these interviews being asked by these celebrities about this investment scheme. And they're all talking like you have Gayle King. Here's one of the things that's such a dead giveaway. Gayle King is on the CBS Morning News talking with Elon Musk, and she says, "Tell me more about this incredible investment opportunity." I mean, and if you're not smart enough to know that Gayle King on the CBS Morning News never just gave Elon Musk a commercial to promote an investment scheme. If you don't know that, then those are the people that, they want the money from. Anyway, be careful out there. It's crazy. And I'm so mad that I can't find this video now, that it's gone. We'll try one more time. Hold on, one more time, because I don't want to give up on it. Oh, boy. Hold on. It's something is loading, and it very well may in fact be what I want. And ladies and gentlemen, it is. All right. All right. I found it. I was able to find it. I am so now I just got to bring it over here. So, okay, here we go. Oh boy, this better be good. All right, here we go. Is there a way to make it? Is there a way to back it up? All right, let's back it up. Oh, this is so. Why can't it just be on YouTube? Why can't, things should just be on YouTube to make it so much easier? Okay. Here we go. There we go. And so here's the scam. This is what you need to look out for.
Freedom right now. That's what we've been going for the last 2 years.
Elon Musk recently revealed that his long-awaited cryptocurrency trading platform quietly launched at the end of last year, although it was in a closed test.
Financial freedom right now.
Here, everyone can have financial freedom right now. That's how it starts.
Financial freedom right now. That's what we've been going for the last 2 years.
Elon Musk recently revealed that his long-awaited cryptocurrency trading platform quietly launched at the end of last year, although it was in a closed testing phase.
It's an incredible opportunity that can help you achieve your wildest
CBS
dreams
Morning
of
News.
making thousands of dollars in just a few days. With this AI invented by Elon Musk and his team, you can be a part of this game-changing technology from the very beginning.
Can you imagine thinking that's something
As
Gail
one of the
King would
first
do?
500 people to get it for free, you can expect profits
On
of anywhere
CBS.
from $100 to $2,000 in the first day alone.
Elon Musk will tell us all about it.
Quantum AI is a new project that will help users increase their income exponentially without active participation.
Is this a closed software package?
No, we have made it available to everyone. Every Canada with a phone or computer with an internet connection can use our software.
Okay, so that's the way that the deep fake was used. Those videos are then tagged with a way for you to send your money to Elon's new investments, and that's what the FTC is saying we got to be looking out for. They're coming after it. Deep fake videos are going to be more and more prevalent, so come on, people, get smart. Understand that on the CBS Morning News, there is no way in hell that Gail King is ever going to be touting. That's what you see on late night info. Do you remember? Oh, God. Remember how late night infomercials always used to look like talk shows or news shows? You know why? Because they know people are stupid. Because someone's going to tune into a talk show they've never seen before with Danny Bonaducci. It's just, Danny did these with Danny Bonaducci as a guest. And you go, oh, this must be real because he used to be a celebrity. And then you watch it. And before you know it, you own a new mop or whatever it is. Mega memory, some kind of, remember all that stuff? God. Yeah. All right. Let's see here. What else is trending today? Saudi sports. We're all the Saudi investment fund. We're all very hyper aware of that. They're moving in on another sport. That's right. They're moving in on the sport of combat fighting here in America. They are going to acquire an ownership stake in the No, not the UFC. They're going with the Pro Fighters League, which is like a lesser form of the UFC. The UFC over the past few years, there was a time about 10 years ago when UFC was still very big. But there were other organizations in America that were like, okay, let's see where this one goes. There could be a Pepsi to UFC's Coke. Absolutely. And that never really happened. And it never happened because the UFC suddenly was flush with cash and they began buying up all of the competitors, which is, something that's normally done. PFC, the Pro Fighters League, that's a different kind of animal that's been around now for a number of years, and it's never really broken through because it's never had the big money backing. Well, now it's got the Saudi investment fund. So what does this mean? Now they've got all kinds of money to be able to steal fighters from the UFC. You might see big name fighters now in another league, and that's how you get a Pepsi. We've seen it. Affliction, remember Affliction tried it, and then the WEC tried it, and my God, there's been there's been a million organizations that have tried to challenge the UFC in America and never been able to do it. But then again, they've never also had Saudi investment fund money behind them. So we will see. We will see how that plays out. CNN is trending today because CNN has not confirmed, Not confirmed. But basically, everybody's saying that they've chosen their new leader. That's right. Yeah, Jeffrey. I'm doing a Mitch McConnell thing. Jeffrey. Can't think of his name. The guy. There was a dude. He was like running CNN, and then he got kicked out because I think he was hooking up with somebody there or something. I don't know. He fired Chris Cuomo, and then he turned out he was with somebody, and then he had to go. So then they brought in that dude who was the Colbert Show executive producer and put him in charge of CNN, Chris Licht. He crapped the bed, as they say. He crapped the bed. He didn't even come from news. They all hated him because he came from entertainment. He didn't come from news. He thought that CNN's problem was that they weren't entertaining enough. And honestly, that's the issue. The problem with CNN is that they stopped doing news. You can't lead off every single newscast of every hour for 5 or 6 years with some kind of divisive Trump, Biden, Obama BS and still be called a news organization, because you're not. You're not. What you are is you're a gin mill. You're simply doing entertainment. You're doing I wouldn't even call it intellectual entertainment. You're doing political entertainment. So they bring in Chris Licht, and he's like, I can make it even more entertaining. And, he, as I said, crapped the bed. So he was out. So now they got a new guy. Warner Brothers Discovery is now in advanced talks to name Mark Thompson, the former top executive of the New York Times and the BBC, as its new leader, according to people familiar with the story. All right. Now, why do I like this? I like the BBC. I love the BBC. I fall asleep every night. I tell this story a lot. I have the apps on my smart TV, and there's like a BBC, and there's also what's the other one in Britain that I watch? Anyway, I fall asleep at night to news from Britain. I fall asleep at night to the British equivalent of CNN or Fox News or MSNBC. It's exactly the same. It's just it's the same kind of thing, except it's not. It looks the same. So you're not looking at something going, I don't like how this looks. I don't know where to look. No, it's just like a news show, just like an American news show, except they have different accents and a wildly different worldview. And I love that because they do spend a lot of time talking about America. So I like to hear explanations and breakdown of the American presidential race as it's being explained to the British people. Because God knows I'm sitting here in the middle of it all watching it. I want to hear how other people are perceiving it. I love the BBC. I think the BBC is great. I think the way they cover news is second to none in the world. So if CNN is getting the guy who was in charge of the BBC, that's probably a move in the right direction. All right, let's move on. Titanic is trending. There's a company that's going to go down to the Titanic and basically gut it. They want to take all the stuff. Apparently there's stuff inside there. Apparently there's, barnacle covered chest of drawers. I don't know what's in there, but dishes from the staterooms. I don't know. There's a Georgia company called Titanic Rescue or Titanic Salvage or whatever. I don't know. It's stupid Titanic-based company, and they're being stopped by the federal government. The government saying you can't go in, you can't just loot the Titanic, dude. And they're like, but it's international waters, and because the whole problem is that the British and the Americans, like 100 years ago, when the thing happened, they decided that they were going to leave the wreckage, the interior of the wreckage, everything inside, because they couldn't get in there, and there's people in there. There's people that drowned, and so America and Britain decided that was hallowed ground, that is a grave site, and you cannot desecrate the remains. And now you got this Georgia company going, nah, but there's money in there. We're gonna just go. And now they're saying that they may take things from the interior of the Titanic. This is like their compromise in court. The Georgia company says they might take things, but only if they're able to reach them from outside the ship. So, okay. So now you're thinking, all right, so that's arm's length. Now watch this company create some kind of device that's like 1,000-foot arm so that they're going to be able to, you know what I mean? You just can't. Look, here's my take on it. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. You know what? 100 years ago, people who probably weren't so concerned about the upcoming, election, the way these things are seen in the divisive nature. There was a time when the people 100 years ago, it seems like they came together for a good reason, which was what a tragic event this is. So many of our citizens perished. So many of your citizens perished. This needs to be consecrated, hallowed ground. That is what this is. And the Americans and the British agreed to that. And so now you got this company. And then, by the way, this has nothing to do with the idiots that tried to go sightseeing, right? This isn't them. Though this has nothing to do with that. But Titanic in the news again for that very reason. Kanye and his wife. That's right. Bianca. Kanye and his wife, Bianca. They're making some news. They made news a couple of days ago because apparently she went out. She went out all dressed like, provocatively, let's just say. I mean, she was basically wearing like 2 spaghetti noodles and a 4-leaf clover. That was all she was wearing. I mean, she basically went out and they were like, you can't go out in Italy like that. Italy is a conservative Catholic culture. So they took some crap for that. But they're in, here's what they're taking crap for today. They were photographed while in Italy eating food from a vending machine. Oh, typical Kanye. Leave it to a crazy person to be in Italy and eat out of a vending machine. Ha ha. He has no... I mean, just leave these people alone. We know that Kanye West is a nutbag. We know that... Look, he's been good for like 100 days. It's like, so he goes out and he gets something out of a vending machine with his weird wife. His wife, she's weird. First of all, she's like... Well, here's the other thing. They keep saying she's an architect. Although, yeah, right. And half the dancers down at the men's club are working their way through surgical school. Right. She's an architect. Anyway, Kanye's new wife is an architect. I'm like, nah, architects don't dress like that. This girl is like, let me say that she's no stranger to NBA hotel lobbies. That's what she looks like to me. She's like, you know what I mean? Yo, you're telling me she's an architect? Anyway, whatever. Buried the lead. Kanye's married. Did you guys know that? I had no idea he was married. All right, here's another thing. Let's stay in Italy. Why not? Italy seems like a cool place. Don't want to go there because I can't speak the language, and that's a big problem for me. I won't go anywhere in this world where I can't speak English freely. You can speak English freely almost anywhere. Nah, no, you can't. Shut up. You know where you can? Australia, Ireland, England, and Scotland. Iceland, they speak English there too. Canada, I can do it in Canada. That's about it. All right, let's stay in Italy because the new movie here. Oh, we already did that. There we go. Here we go. Let's watch a trailer, shall we? A trailer of a film that I am very excited about. I am very excited about this, although I am not a particular fan of this product. I am fascinated by the lifestyle. Adam Driver has released the new trailer to his film Ferrari, where he plays Enzo Ferrari. This movie looks awesome. Now, you know I'm in the tank for Formula One, and I love the race cars, and I love all the history of it and all that stuff. So I was very excited when I heard that they were making a big movie with Adam Driver and Penelope Cruz about Enzo Ferrari, who... I mean, I never really thought of him as all that interesting of a guy or somebody worthy of this. I mean, the Ferrari brand certainly is. That's an interesting brand. So anyway, the trailer has been released. Let's watch it, shall we? Let's get it. All right, here we go. The new trailer for the Adam Driver film. By the way, coming out Christmas. So it's expected to be one of them big Christmas movies. Adam Driver, look at him.
Get into one of my cars, you get in the win.
All righty. That is Adam Driver's new film, Ferrari. I don't know, man. I'm in the tank for it already, but I love those kinds of movies. So looks good. Here's a look at this. This is American pop culture. Certainly made his impact here. A name from a few years back. A politically divisive name, to be sure. But a politically divisive name in a time when political divisiveness seemed almost quaint, seemed almost like, oh, really? Of course, I'm talking about, well, actually, let me ask you this. Does the name Joe the Plumber mean anything to you? Joe the Plumber, ladies and gentlemen. Joe the Plumber was the man who stopped Obama during a campaign appearance and gained national, I don't even remember what he asked him. It was something about, hey, how come you're running for president? I don't know what he asked him, but Joe the Plumber became sort of this national phenomenon for a while. He would go on to become a Tea Party, during the Tea Party movement of like 2008, I guess. He became like a big spokesperson for the Tea Party and all that stuff. Well, Joe the Plumber has passed away, and he was a young man. How crazy is that? He was only 49 years old. Joe the Plumber, who questioned Obama's tax proposals during the 2008 campaign, has died at the age of 49 years old. Joe Wurzelbacher, remember that was his name, Joe Wurzelbacher. Joe Wurzelbacher, who was thrust into the political spotlight as Joe the Plumber after questioning Barack Obama about his economic proposals during the 2008 presidential campaign, and who later forayed into politics himself, has died. This according to his son. He was 49 years old. The only thing I have to say is that my father was a true patriot, Joey Wurzelbacher said, whose father had the middle name of Joseph and went by Joe. Said in a telephone interview, his big thing is that everyone comes to God. That's what he taught me, and that's a message I hope is heard by a lot of people. All right, so there you have it. Joe the Plumber from a bunch of years ago. Never thought you'd hear his name. Well, I mean, I guess, these people, they flare up because they're exploited in the moment. He was exploited in the moment. He enjoyed it. Hey, wait a second. You people, what? Exploited is not always a bad thing. Please, someone exploit me. Please exploit me. He ran with it. He wrote books. He became a thing, In recent years, he went back to plumbing. He got his plumbing license. Remember, that was a thing. He's not even a plumber. Oh, shut up. In the state of Ohio, you don't actually have to be a plumber if you work for a licensed plumber. You're an assistant. Stop it. Remember that? He's not even a real plumber. See, it was quaint. That kind of political divisiveness was nice. I mean, now it's all, lock him up. It's crazy now. All right, a little bit of local news here as we run down through the end of the show. We're closing out early here, folks. Another reminder, tip the show, keep us going, help us out, please, please, please. Give us the push. We need to get over the line here this month. Here's a little local story for all of you. You can tip by addressing those things there at the bottom of the screen. Portillo's. We got another Portillo's coming, and the opening date has been announced, and this is a very big deal for me. The current Portillo's exists off 121. They're in the Colony. I don't know. They call it the Colony, but I call it Frisco. It's like up there by Frisco. It's technically, I guess it is the Colony right there. It's in the Grandscape, and it's great. And every time I go, it's the only one. And every time you go there, and there's this crazy line, and there's never a table. And you got to do that weird thing that you do. You ever been in a restaurant where not a nice sit-down restaurant, but like a fast food restaurant that there are no tables available? Probably do this at a bar, maybe too, during a game or something. There are no tables available. So what you do is you start looking for people who are near the end of their meal, or you look for somebody who's getting the credit card out, like they're waiting for their check. And I have done this. I have seen someone trying to get a waitress's attention to get the check, and I've gone and got a waitress and said, hey, that table right there wants to pay. And I don't know if she reacted because she thought I was a part of that party or whatever, but boom, that's how you speed up the process. I do that all the time. I have to do that. At Portillo's. And I will tell you this, you have to stand by somebody. You have to look for people. Look, if they're just sitting down and they're taking their food out of their bag, they're going to be there about a half hour. You got to find somebody who's like down to the last couple of bites, maybe they're checking their watch. You got to look, you got to be able to read people. And then you go and you stand by them. You stand by them. So at the minute they get up, you go, are you leaving? You got to address that too, because you don't want to get into any sort of altercation with somebody else who may have been spying that table too. You want to make contact with the previous owner of the table. You want to make sure that you're the guy. So the minute they move, you got to say, are you leaving? Establish your place in the pecking order. Some other dude that's not quite as aggressive as you, he's off there. You're SOL, pal. You go wait for somebody else. My 14-year-old son is terrible at this. I'm trying to teach him. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go get in line and I'm going to pay. And the line is like 100 people. Your job is to find people who look like they're about to leave and then get their table. And he's terrible at it. I mean, you know, I'm in line, I'm waiting, and I'm looking at the crowded Portillo's dining room, and I'm seeing my kid there, and he's on his phone. He's not even paying attention. He's not staying frosty. Kids. So that's the problem with the Portillo's that exists, the one Portillo's. There's a new one. We're going to lighten the load there on that Portillo's because this is the one that I'll be going to now. Portillo's in Allen is coming. Portillo's, this one's going in just south on the west side, the Allen Outlet Mall side, just south of the Allen Outlet Mall on that side. Portillo's in Allen. The opening date is going to be... It's so soon. It's like much sooner than I thought. Like this story, I'm like, oh, so it's opening in 90 days. No, it's opening in like 9 days. It's like opening in, ever since DFW's first Portillo's location opened back in January, North Texans have been flocking to the colony to give it a try. While long lines have persisted at the Chicago-based restaurant, dude, this is what I'm talking about. This is where my kid is failing me. Dude, you got to stand next to a table. I don't want to do that's weird. Well, just don't be weird. Don't be weird. You can control the amount of weird that you're putting out. First of all, you're not a weird kid. That's what he says. It's like, it feels weird. Yeah, but you're not being weird. I'll tell you if you're being weird. All right. So there's long lines at that one. That should soon change as Portillo's has finally announced the opening date of their second Metroplex location. The new restaurant will open in Allen next month. Early next month. Allen got a taste of what's to come. They brought out the Portillo's beef bus. They do this bad. This is bad. I don't like this. I don't. So at least this is how they've been doing it with their expansion here. So when they announced that they're coming to a place, like there's going to be one in Arlington, there's going to be one in Fort Worth. So before they announce, what they do is they have the land and then they park a bus, like a food truck there, and it serves the kind of food that they serve Portillo's food. But here's the problem. It ain't the Portillo's food. I stopped at the one, I got a beef sandwich. I got a beef sandwich from the Portillo's bus before they opened at 121. It was the worst beef sandwich I've ever had. It was small. It was cold. That's a terrible idea. If you cannot present let the hype precede it. Let people, the first time they taste this, have them have just waited in line for an hour. Let the hype build. Don't give them a sandwich that isn't. The hot dog was rubbery. My kid got a hot dog, and I'm like, is that cold? He's like, yeah, it's cold. I'm like, of course it's cold. They're selling it to us out of a bus. I love everything that Portillo's serves at their restaurant hot off the grill. But no, don't get a lesser version and go, oh, this ain't what they all said it was. This is actually kind of just mid. The Portillo's menu features Chicago-style hot dogs, Italian beef sandwiches, burgers. Don't sleep on the Portillo's burgers. Nobody goes to Portillo's and gets the burger. Get the double cheeseburger. It's the best double cheeseburger. It's the best fast food double cheeseburger you can get. Yeah, I said it. Let's see what else. September 7th. Okay. Portillo's recently announced a special ribbon cutting ceremony for their new Allen store on September 7th. The ceremony will be held at 10 a.m. and the store will open at 10:30 a.m. I'm just nutty enough to go to the ribbon cutting just to be there, just to be like, yeah. All right, there you have it. What else do we have? We can do this. This is fun. This is another food. You know, I'm a food snob. You know, I'm not obviously a food snob. I mean, look at me. I'll eat anything. But when I am eating things, I do tend to have a pecking order, and there is a bar. And if something doesn't reach a certain bar, then it's trash. So you all know that I have an issue with Dallas or North Texas or really just Southern pizza. Like, you know that I have a problem with it. But, you know, to be fair, I also have a problem with New York style pizza. New York style pizza is way too greasy. What are you doing? It's just a gross, greasy, soppy, hey, it's a way the pizza should be. No, it's not. That's terrible. Cook it a little longer. Anyway. So here's a ranking from TripAdvisor. TripAdvisor for people coming to Dallas. Isn't this interesting? TripAdvisor for people coming to Dallas. Here's what they say are the best pizzas in all of Dallas. They are ranking the pizza places in Dallas. Everybody's got a favorite pizza place. Everybody does. I know I do. I know there's one pizza place here in Dallas that I absolutely love. And then 1,000 other places that I go, and somebody says, how's the pizza? And I go, That is my pizza experience. All right, so here we go. Let's look at some of these. Wrong page, dummy. Here we go. All right, let's run through these. And here's what we'll do. I'll tell you how these pizzas look to me. You know me, I'm Johnny Pizza. Ran a pizza kitchen, ran a pizza restaurant, did pizza delivery, did everything there is to do in a pizza kitchen and a pizza restaurant. I know everything there is to do about this game. So here we go. Let's watch this. All right, here we go. The first one, boom. 30. Do we need to start with 30? All right, I Fratelli Pizza. Let me tell you something about this I Fratelli pizza we're looking at right here. It looks pretty good. That pizza looks pretty good. That is, the crust looks really good. It's a weird egg shaped, not used to that. That's strange, but that might be part of their branding. The I Fratelli's pizza looks really good, but it's awful. It's terrible. Well, what can you say about the sauce other than it's red? All right, that's I Fratelli. That's coming in at 30. We're not going to do the. Here you go. I wanted to get to this one. This is the crime of all crimes. Do you see that freaking slop mess right there? That is the finest pizza in all of Dallas. That is, to me, in my tastes and what I think are good pizza. I enjoy what's known as tavern-style pizza. What is tavern-style pizza? Tavern-style pizza is paper thin, super thin. So thin is the crust. But you're from Chicago. I thought you guys were deep dish. Oh, shut up. Deep dish is the great joke that Chicagoans have played on the rest of the country. That's what we call tourist food. We don't actually eat deep dish every Friday. What we do is we eat tavern-style pizza every Friday. The deep dish is for when your cousins from Ohio come to town. And they're like, we want to try that deep dish. And so you're like, okay, guess we got to have deep dish. And then there's always a kid who lives in the house. He's like, I hate deep dish. And then it's a problem. But it's tourist food. This is what a pizza should look like. Look at that awful mess. Louis, ladies and gentlemen. Louis on Henderson. It's the best. And this TripAdvisor, these people, they don't know what pizza is. They rated it 29. I mean, at least it made the mark. Look at this. Pie 5. That looks awful. What is that? That looks like, first of all, is this toast? Look at this. That is awful. All right, Scalini's Pizza. What the hell you doing? Hey, we're showing that we're using a real buffalo mozzarella. Yeah, melt it. You didn't cook this long enough, or you added the buffalo way too. That's not melted enough, you idiots. Hey, but it looks so pretty. All right, let's keep going. Coal Vines blows. Don't like Coal Vines. Grotti. I don't know what it is, but that ain't pizza. This place, Dobro's Italian. They won't even show their pizza. Show me their pizza, cowards. All right, now, what is this? Partenope Ristorante. Okay, so here's my first thoughts on this. Look at that sausage. That sausage looks awful. It's like that's the thing that they do here. All the place, they don't have real good Italian sausage. So what they do is they just basically take like Jimmy Dean breakfast sausage, fry it up and season it with some Italian seasoning and then sprinkle it on the pizza. That is not how sausage works in pizza. But that's how we do it here. Looks terrible. Grimaldi's. Been to Grimaldi's. Don't like Grimaldi's. Carmine's Pizza. Here you go. Here's a good example of a New York style slice of pizza. Carmine, I'm sure you're a sweet guy, but that pizza looks like absolute hell. First of all, the camera sucks. The camera is not in focus. And even with the camera not in focus, you can see how greasy this slop-ass New York style pizza is. Look at it. Greasy. It's fine. You just take your napkin and that is disgusting. Ugh. All right, what else we got? 20, Carmine's Pizza. I don't like the crust. That crust is way too thick. All right, let's see here. Pizzeria Testa. What the hell is that? That's not even, what is that? All right. Salad? That's it. The 17th best pizza in Dallas is DeLuca Gaucho Pizza and Wine. And to show you how delicious our pizza is, here's a Caesar salad. Why are they? What is that? That ain't pizza. What? Okay, here's what I'll say about this. This is Cibo Divino Marketplace. That crust looks good. That crust, I like the burning on the bottom. You got to make sure that it's thin enough so that it burns to a cracker crispness. That looks good. That looks a little thick. I mean, it's a little thick crust, but I like the burn on the crust. Burn on the crust is good, man. All right, this I don't even know what the hell that is. It's fancy Cane Russo pizza. See, this is how pizza for fancy people. No, shut up. What that is bad Neapolitan knockoff. And by the way, I don't have a problem with Neapolitan pizza. In fact, I love it. I think it's a nice little change of pace. But that ain't good. What is that? What am I looking? You're calling this pizza? That might be good. That might be. You fold that over and then seal it with some cheese and some sauce on top of it. Or you just fold it over and deep fry it and you got a calzone. I don't know what I'm looking at there. That looks like trash. Serious pizza. That looks terrible. Look at first of all, they're using the extra small pepperoni, which means they're cheaping out on the pepperoni, which means they're probably cheaping out on every other ingredient. Olivello's Neo Pizza Napolitano. Okay, so this is a Neapolitan pizza. This looks pretty good. So the attraction with Neapolitan pizza as opposed to, like a tavern style or a deep dish or a pan or a stuffed is the crust. Now this crust, I said I don't like a thick crust, right? Don't like a thick crust. Neapolitan pizza isn't a thick crust. The crust is filled with air. See how you got the bubble right here? So it's really crispy, crackery like crust. There's just a lot of it without all the dough. So that looks like a pretty good pizza. Tony's Pizza and Pasta. I've heard about this place. I've never been there. I have heard this place is good. It comes in at number 11. What is this? Fireside Pies. I've been to Fireside. Look, let me be honest about Fireside Pies. Perfectly serviceable pizza. It's fine. I mean, it's, did you like it? Yeah, I did. I liked it. It was good pizza. And not up to my standards, though. Tuda's Pizza. What is Tuda's Pizza? Oh, he's got that guy Fieri. He's got him. No picture of their pizza, though. So, that tells me to avoid it. I got to look at the pizza before I go. Cane Rosso in White Rock Lake. They don't even show the pizza either. Just the dining room. All right, what is this? Okay. Campese's. When I first arrived in Texas, I was taken to Campese's for our very first dinner. You guys are probably going to want to try pizza being from Chicago and all. And we're like, yeah, no, not really. I mean, we're in Dallas. We kind of were hoping for barbecue or maybe Tex-Mex, something like that. Come on, let's take them to Campese's. And they took us to Campese's. Campese's is a very nice place. Very, very cool. There's history there. There's all kinds of, they make pizza. I've had every time I've gone to Campese's, and I've gone to Campese's a lot because it's a restaurant that people like to go to. So every time I go to Campese's, I tend to get pasta. It's good. I love the pasta. This is the Grimaldi's. Okay, never been to Grimaldi's. They're not bothering giving us a look at their pizza, so screw them. Campese's again. This is the Campese's. This is the Egyptian room, right? Is this the one on Mockingbird? Yeah. Okay, so this is the one that I've gone to. The other one I don't go to. This place, if you're going out for pizza and you want to go to Campese's, try the pasta. Eno's Pizza. All right, number 3, Eno's Pizza. We got to stop here on this one. This is gorgeous. That pizza is absolutely gorgeous. Eno's Pizza, man. I got to get over there. Now, this is not to be confused with Emo's. Emo's Pizza out of St. Louis, out of the St. Louis area. Emo's Pizza is amazing. This is Eno's. Eno's looks fantastic. Here's what I'm looking for here. So I'm looking for the orangish hue to the cheese. See, we've got that. We've got the orangish hue to the cheese, which means that it's cooked perfectly. What we're also looking for my particular taste, we want this black burning around the edges of the crust. That means the crust is so thin that when you pick it up, it's gonna like a cracker. And if you just got the perfect amount of burn to it, it adds a flavor that is unreal. That right there, that is the best look. That's better looking than the Louis Pizza. Louis is my favorite pizza in town. It came in at 29, and I said that is a gorgeous mess right there. We're looking at that's a beautiful pizza. I got to try Eno's Pizza. Let's see, number 2, Pie Tap Pizza Workshop and Bar. Oh God. And number 1, Cane Rosso. And all I can say is, seriously, this is the number 1 pizza. I know people who love Cane Rosso. I've had Cane Rosso. What's the difference between Fireside and Cane Rosso? They're like interchangeable to me. They're the exact same thing. So I don't know. Anyway, there you have it. That's my hot take on the pizza scene here in Dallas, because I am a pizza snob. I believe this town is ripe for tavern style pizza. And when I moved here 2 years ago, I was like, man, we got to open up a tavern style pizza place. And guess what has happened over the last 2 years? There's a whole bunch of places opening up, and now they're advertising serving tavern style. And I'm like, nobody even said that word 2 years ago. Hey, look, it's a good idea. It's a good idea, and other people had it. It's a good idea. Other people looked around at the pizza scene here and went, they don't have good pizza. Maybe we should start selling them tavern-style pizza, because I don't think they know what pizza can actually be. It's just good. It's just good. I don't know. I prefer it. It's a sweet sauce. See, it's not just, say it's thin and cut in squares. It's tavern style. No, that's not what tavern style pizza is. Tavern style pizza traditionally has either a very sweet sauce, which you're going to buy that tavern because you like the sweet, or it's got a very spicy sauce. They're sort of like, the sauce is a big player in the tavern style pizza. It's a little different than typical pizza sauce. Also the burn and the cracker. Okay, we're moving on. What else do we have here? Oh, the last thing I want to talk about. All right, so I promised that I would talk about this when we were mentioning Elon Musk. Bryan Street Tavern has been the forever great pizza, Byron says. Bryan Street. Where is that? Bryan Street, I'm guessing. Hold on. What's some people? Byron says Campese's is great toppings on cardboard. Look, hey, I used to I bought the veggies, man. We know how to make the pizza. You got to buy the good. I just think I taste a lot of non-fresh ingredients in the pizzas down here. And because they all do it, because, most of the time when you're getting pizza down here, you're going to Papa John's, Domino's, Little Caesars, all of those gigantic corporations, they have set the bar for what pizza tastes like for generations of kids here. So if that's what the bar is set at, pretty low, starting out pretty low. And those places don't use fresh ingredients. I think one of them is now like advertising that they do, but they don't like, there's no way you can't make a cost-effective pizza at those price points. I know what a pizza costs, and I know what the markup is, and I know that if you're making a good premium pizza, a thin crust premium pizza, say a large, should cost you $25-$30. That ain't what Papa John's or whatever. See, but that pizza has the real ingredients, and there's real, and the taste is completely different. I don't know what to say. Pizza. All right, so I wanted to mention how I've come full circle on Aaron Rodgers again. I am back to hating Aaron Rodgers. A couple of weeks ago, I was talking about this season of Hard Knocks. Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets are featured on this season of Hard Knocks. And, I the first couple of episodes, I was like, man, Aaron Rodgers seems like the greatest teammate ever. He's encouraging. He seems to be a leader. He seems to be willing to accept the role of the leader and the disciplinarian and the cheerleader when certain guys who are struggling need it. He came off wonderful in the first couple of episodes. Then I started to notice something about him. Then I started to notice that here's my take on Aaron Rodgers now. Aaron Rodgers has a benevolent God mindset. He sees himself as a God, as an absolute God. But if someone's going to see himself that way, at least he's not horrible about it. He's kind of benevolent. But here's the problem for me. He still thinks he's a God. He still thinks he's better than everybody else. He's not horrible about it. He's not going to build camps and try and take over the world. But when he walks around people, it's like he expects everyone to bow down to him. And man, I'm telling you, over the past 4 weeks of Hard Knocks on HBO, watching the way the New York Jets have basically supplemented themselves to Aaron Rodgers, everybody, I mean, it's one thing. It's one thing to be appreciative and respectful of a veteran who's a first ballot Hall of Famer who's done it all and one of the great names of the game. You can do that without being like, nose buried in his ass, the way all the New York Jets seems to be. Even Robert Saleh, the head coach. It doesn't seem like Robert Saleh is the last voice on the New York Jets. It seems like it's Aaron Rodgers based on Hard Knocks. Yesterday there was a situation, and this isn't what made me think he was a god, but it was a good indicator of kind of how he carries himself. Although I guess being a professional athlete in the heat of battle, I should probably forgive him this moment. But he threw a pass, and there was a bit of a late hit from the New York Giants rusher, and the rusher kind of gave him a shove. And Aaron Rodgers, he basically went after the much larger defensive end or whatever he was and started screaming at him about, you know who I am? He did that. He said, you know who I am? How about a little bit of respect? I don't even know who you are. And I just thought, and then he walked, and then he had another interaction with him where he did the same thing again. Like, I don't even know who you are. You're a nobody. You know who I am. You know mine. It was just I understand the heat of battle, and sometimes that during the heat of battle, you don't show your best side. But I was like, man, you could have handled that. You could have jawed with him in a different way where it didn't make you seem like you were putting yourself. It's a football game. Well, he's not supposed to touch you. He's trying to make the team, man. He needs to look as aggressive and as crazy. He's not even, I don't know if he's trying to make a team. Honestly, I don't even know who he was. I was like Aaron Rodgers. Who are you? I don't know. But my point is this. Aaron Rodgers is not being protected in the third preseason game against crosstown rival New York Giants. He's not. If you're worried about Aaron Rodgers getting roughed up, then don't have him in the game. But, I don't know. That was just an example of him. There are other examples of the way he talks to his teammates on the sideline. Like, it's real condescending and preaching. So a couple of weeks ago, I said, you know what? I think Aaron Rodgers and we could travel in the backseat of a car cross country. I think we'd get along fine. I think we'd have nice conversations. Yeah, that's over with. No, I don't think we could. Because the minute he didn't like a song that I was playing, he'd be one of those guys that wouldn't patiently wait for my song turn to be over. He would just stop it in the middle. He's that kind of guy because he's a god. All right, that's going to do it. That's all we got for today's show. Remember, folks, I do apologize. There is no Radio Misfits show stream tonight at 9 p.m. I'm going to go watch my kid play some football. I'm going to be posting his videos and all that stuff. Hopefully he has another good game. So I won't be back in time to do the stream tonight, but we will be back tomorrow, I believe, at noon. As of right now, it seems like we're going to be doing a noon show tomorrow. Please help out the show if you can. Again, if we don't do a noon show tomorrow at noon, I will certainly at some point fit it in. We'll figure out a way to get something in, right? Time out here. At the top of the show today, I was talking about how I'm thinking about doing some things differently. Like, I'm thinking about maybe making this stream. See, right now, I'm kind of doing it like from the perspective of somebody doing a talk radio show. And by that, what I mean is there's a 2-hour block of time and I got to fill it and I got to do these different segments and all that stuff. That's been the way I've been looking at this. But as I listen back to shows and as I sort of, nitpick everything that's being done here, I realized that we spend an awful lot of time on that first segment. And that first segment is not one of the problems that I have with this show is the amount of time that it takes to research all the stories and all the topics that I talk about and rant about. And part of that is that I have to go back and do all of these history things. So here's what I'm thinking about doing. I'm thinking about doing this day or whatever today is, where we do the erstwhile on, the birthdays and the deaths. I'm thinking about doing that as a recorded thing that is released every day. Like, maybe that's released early in the morning. You know what I mean? Like, maybe every day we put it on a schedule, because I can record a whole bunch of those all in one take, because I wear the same thing and it's evergreen material. And then that'll free me up to be able to just spend less time putting this show together. And what the live show will be every day is the hot topics. We just get more into hot topics. So I don't know if that's something that you guys would appreciate more or whatever, but I'm really thinking of doing that. So help out by telling me in the chat room what you think of that plan. Also, help out if you can by keeping the show afloat with whatever it is you can drop into the Cash App or whatever it is that you can drop into the hold on. The Venmo. We do appreciate it. We're up against it this month, so whatever you can do is thank you. All right, where's my John Hinckley? Here we go. I need my John Hinckley. So here's what I got to do right now. I got to go down in the driveway and I got to wash my car. My car has been parked under a tree for 3 months in 110 degree heat. It's just, there's like a film of dirt. Like I just got to, so I got to go down there. I got to do that. That'll probably take about an hour. And then I got to get out of the house. I got to go get lost with the dog because there's people coming to look at the big house. And then I'm going to go watch my kid play football. And then I'll drive back home. And then I'll watch TV. And I'll take my little gummies, my little sleep gummies. And I'll wake up and we'll do it all again. We'll see you tomorrow at high noon. Hopefully, follow the show, hit subscribe, hit like, do all of those things. Be aware that it's a fluid start time for the next couple of weeks. So you're going to want to be following so you get the notifications. All right, see you then. Bye, everybody. Love you all so much.
I have got an old guitar that is all